How are we doing, guys? And welcome back to 𝐷𝐿FC. This is a very, very impromptu video because tonight, literally 10 minutes ago, we heard the news that Jesse Marsch has been appointed Leeds United's new head coach on a contract until June 2025. Wow, it's sudden. Look, there's no hiding from the fact that yesterday there was a lot of rumours that this was going to happen. And personally, as you can probably tell by my general manner, I'm happy. I am really happy with this appointment. Look, it's been a difficult last couple of days for Leeds United. I think for everyone around the club, fans, Marcelo Bielsa, all of us, it's been a very, very difficult day. Last couple of days, really. Marcelo Bielsa will always hold a special place in our hearts, no matter what happens with this appointment or future appointments or the future of Leeds United. That is never, ever not going to be the case. He will always, always hold a special place in our hearts. But today, for me, is the start of an exciting new era. And I don't think there's any shame in saying that. That doesn't mean I think any less than Marcelo Bielsa. I'm just looking purely at this appointment of Jesse Marsch as a manager, as a coach. My research I've done on him in the last sort of 24 hours or so, I'm very, very enthused by this appointment. I think this is an incredible coach that is heading to Leeds United, to be quite honest with you. So let's read a little bit more from the Leeds United statement. Leeds United can today announce the appointment of Jesse Marsch as the club's new head coach, pending international clearance. The 48-year-old has signed a new deal at Ellen Road, running until June 2025. His first game in charge will be Saturday's Premier League trip to Leicester City. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to read out Victor Orta's quote on the appointment of Jesse Marsch. We are delighted to welcome Jesse to the club and excited for him to lead us into this new chapter. Jesse is someone we identified a number of years ago during his time at Red Bull Salzburg, and we believe his philosophy and style of football aligns with that of the club and will suit the players very well. We have a long-term plan and firmly believe he can take Leeds United to the next level, and are excited for what the future holds. Again, I totally agree with that, based on what I've seen. Again, I did know Jesse Marsch before yesterday. I did know of him at Leipzig and Salzburg. I had seen him play in the Champions League before. But again, I didn't know Jesse Marsch in depth. And there's so much content out there on Jesse Marsch, in terms of showing what he's like as a person, in terms of obviously doing team talks, discussing tactics and different bits and pieces. You get to really build an idea up of Jesse Marsch as a person. And I think he's got something special about him, different to Bielsa in a way. I think maybe a little bit more vocal. I think probably will be different on the touchline as well, is the impression I get. But I still think he's someone that the fans will really connect with, particularly if we have a good start, and particularly if Jesse Marsch manages to keep us up. Because I think ultimately the immediate thing for Leeds right now is these next 12 games. And that is the key at this moment in time. But I'm just going to read as well the 𝐷𝐿FC quote on the Jesse Marsch appointment. We're really pleased to have quickly secured the services of our first choice head coach. Whilst the short-term objective for Jesse is obvious, we believe he has the courage and the ambition to build on the solid, strong foundations we have created over the last 4 years and elevate the performance of the club over the long term. He had a great deal of success with New York Red Bulls and Red Bull Salzburg, and has demonstrated during our many meetings that he is a great fit with the footballing culture of Leeds United. At this challenging time, it is important that the club remains united from top to bottom. The fans have been amazing throughout Andrea's tenure, and we have no doubt they will unite behind Jesse and ensure the team quickly returns to winning with style. Again, I totally agree with that as well. Ultimately, the be-all and end-all is what happens on the pitch. There's no doubt about that. The be-all and end-all is what happens on the pitch. It's all well and good being great in interviews, coming across well, and being enthusiastic, and someone who suits, from a personality point of view, suits the Leeds United job well. That's all well and good, but ultimately, as football fans, we will judge it on the pitch, and that is what it is at the end of the day. Look, the next 12 games are difficult. We're playing a lot of teams. We're kind of in that top half of the table. We've already played a lot of the teams below us. So it's a very, very difficult run of games coming up. You look at those last 12 games, and look, I know we've played I know the narrative is we've played obviously Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, and now it gets easier, but this is still a tough 12 games. This is going to be a tough task, these last 12 games. There's no doubt about it. And that's something I want to hammer home early. Because, look, we all love Marcelo Bielsa. We all love Marcelo Bielsa. I personally, as I said many times, didn't want Marcelo Bielsa to go. But that doesn't mean we can't be excited about Jesse Marsch. And it doesn't mean that he hasn't got a difficult job right now. Particularly if Calvin, Bamford and Cooper aren't back for a while. We've seen what's happened with the results this first half of the season, this first 2/3 of the season. So, yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm really optimistic. Something that's just some other bits of research I have done on Jesse Marsch. Now, I'm going to do a more in-depth details on Jesse Marsch, but he does like a big squad. He does trust under 23s players. So again, in terms of the development of the under 23s players, maybe we will see certain players get more minutes. Maybe we will rotate a lot more. Again, rotation was something Jesse Marsch has touched on a lot. But let's actually get the words of Jesse Marsch as well into this too. So again, I'm not going to, fantastic interview as well from Jesse Marsch early doors. So the main quote really to take from this is, the mentality to fight for the fans and fight for each other, this is what I love. That's the main quote Leeds United have gone with. And look, again, any manager that gets appointed, there's going to be phrases and quotes and little bits and pieces like that. But one thing that really did hammer home from Jesse Marsch's interview is that there's going to be a continuation from the Marcelo Bielsa style of on the front foot wherever we go. Wherever we go, we're going to be on the front foot and play without fear. And that was one of the big hallmarks of Marcelo Bielsa. And what a great tribute to Marcelo Bielsa that we've now brought in someone who's going to continue to play this way. He's not going to show fear against any team, which is fantastic. Absolutely what I wanted. Absolutely what I wanted, to still be entertained, and hopefully we're going to see results pick up from what it has been in the last sort of 2/3 of the season. But that's one big thing that's kind of stuck out from Jesse Marsch. And obviously watching highlights, again, I've seen two full 90s of Jesse Marsch's Red Bull Leipzig, one at Man City, one against PSG. They're on their front foot, they're pressing, but it's not a man-to-man marking press, it's a zonal press. It's a bit more like Liverpool's press, in terms of the whole team's going together. Yes, there are some players free from the opposition who aren't being marked, but it's a different kind of a style. It's an adaptation from Marcelo Bielsa's style of play. And Jesse Marsch has actually spoken a lot about Marcelo Bielsa's ideas in terms of man-to-man marking. He's described it as more of a ball-orientated press, in terms of wherever the ball is, the whole team swarms to where the ball is. And yes, it does leave some players on the other side of the pitch who are totally free for the opposition. But it's a very, very interesting adaptation and a different style that we're going to play. But ultimately, everything that Marcelo Bielsa has built in this 3.5 years, I feel this is such a good fit in terms of getting the club to the next level. I really do think this is a fantastic fit, and I'm so impressed that we've been able to appoint a manager of this kind of calibre, really. And yes, some people will say his last job didn't go well. Again, I'm going to talk about that in another video. I think some of the narratives about that Leipzig job aren't quite right, but in terms of, you look at what he's done at Salzburg, he's got them into the Champions League. Again, he's made them very competitive in the Champions League, again, against Liverpool, Bayern Munich. Ultimately, there's a big quality difference in the Champions League. But I've seen enough. I've read up enough. I've seen enough to say that I'm really infused by this. Really, really infused by this. And yeah, I just think he ticks so many boxes, and they can see why he was the club's first choice. And we really need to get behind this guy, because look, the reason I say we've done really well to get a coach of this calibre is that he's been linked with the top jobs. He's worked the last 3 seasons for Champions League clubs. This is a top level coach, and we've got to get behind him now. And I'm sure these fans will get behind him. He's got himself onto a fantastic front foot in terms of that first interview. I thought he was classy in terms of what he said about Marcelo Bielsa. I thought it was so key that he hammered home the point that he wasn't trying to be Marcelo Bielsa, and there will only ever be one Marcelo Bielsa. That was such a key point to make, such a key point to acknowledge what he did for this football club. And yeah, I'm really happy with this, guys, because yesterday, I was incredibly downbeat. I'll be honest, I was incredibly downbeat. You probably saw that in my Marcelo Bielsa tribute video. It was a sad ending. It was a sad ending, but we go into a exciting new future. And on this channel, we're fully in support of Jesse Marsch. Absolutely, all of us are infused by this appointment. And yeah, let's see how it goes. We start away at Leicester. We get off to a good start. Brilliant stuff. But in terms of formations and that lot, again, he's been quoted as saying that he's got 9 different formations. He adapts the formation based on the way the opposition builds play, so we can get the pressing right to press the opposition, really, to press the opposition in the most efficient way. Again, he said about ball orientation and pressing against the ball in that kind of sense, and reacting to where the ball is on the pitch. If the opposition's right back has got the ball, the whole team is swarming towards the right hand side of the pitch. It's all ball orientated rather than man orientated under Bielsa. So that's the key adaptation between the two. And a big criticism of Marcelo Bielsa in the recent weeks has been the pressing instead of the man-to-man marking. It's led to us conceding too many goals. It hasn't really allowed us to press well efficiently from the front. This is the big thing about Jesse Marsch. Pressing, third man runs, again, something else that was massive under Marcelo Bielsa, and intensity. Everything's fast. We watch the games. It's like watching Leeds, prime Leeds under Bielsa. Everything's fast, even against the top sides. Again, as I've said, I've seen him play PSG and Manchester City. Very, very impressed by what I've seen. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there anyway, guys. I'm going to do more of an in-depth reaction because this has been very impromptu. I was a little bit stumbling on my words a little bit there from time to time because this is very impromptu. It has just been announced. I did think the announcement would happen at some point. I didn't quite think it'd happen right now. So again, apologies for it being a little bit impromptu, but this is your reaction to Jesse Marsch getting the job and what I believe is the start of a very exciting new era for this football club, building on from the fantastic, unbelievable last era we've had. And if it's even half as good as that last era in terms of progress, I'm sure. And if Jesse Marsch is even half as popular as Marcelo Bielsa, I'm sure it'll be an incredible ride once again. So we're going to leave it there, guys. We'll leave it there anyway. Jesse Marsch is the new Leeds United head coach. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done already. Hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, let's have some comments. What are your thoughts on Jesse Marsch? Let's have some comments in there as well. But I'm going to leave it there anyway, guys. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.